Assalamu alaikum once again to another Deen Love episode. Today we have with us again our beloved Sheikh and Imam Hassan Jami'i, and we have him with us today, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, so we can discuss a very, very pertinent and important topic, which is plaguing the Muslim community, the Muslim world, and non-Muslims are concerned about it as well. And this topic is about extremism. So Sheikh, first of all, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you again for having me to this beautiful program for the young people.
Alhamdulillah, it's an honor. So the first question, let's get right into it. The first question would be, what is extremism? Define it in the perspective of Islam. What does it mean?
Yeah.
Because when we hear extremism, the non-Muslims, they have their own extremism, which they define, and it's really anybody who they don't like is extreme. Mm-hmm. And then they make everybody hate that person.
Yes.
So what does it mean in the
Bismillah
perspective of Islam?
It is a good question, and it is a timing question. And also, it's good also to look at linguistic before we go to the if you want to call it like the real term of the tatarruf in Arabic, which is extremism in English. The linguistic in Arabic tatarruf is when you sit side or you stand a side place linguistically, and there is a poem that talks like if you sit like the chair from the side at the edge, you might fall, right? You might fall,
right?
And then also the table. Every example that you take, it's side, so it's the edge, and Islam calls like وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Means like Islam is calling the balanced, so to be in the middle, so not either sides. Okay, so that's the linguistic. But التطرف الديني, then religious extremism. By the way, if you look like one of the dictionary, that well-known dictionary like Webster, Merriam,
Yeah.
It says extremism, it is holding an extreme view of politics or religion. So I like that because that is general type of the extremism.
Right.
But in Islamic, التطرف الديني, it's already mentioned in the Qur'an, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's prophet told us, and there is one ayah of Qur'an, by the way, Allah talked about not only the Muslims, even people of the book, Jewish and Christians. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لَا تَغْلُوا فِي دِينِكُمْ.
لا تغلو.
Yeah, لا تغلوا.
لا تغلو.
And do not be, غلو means like extreme. Do not go beyond the the boundary when you practice the deen. So Allah is calling not only the Muslims, even people of the book. So this calling is to everyone, to not to be like an extreme.
Calling to moderation.
Yes, moderation. So that's one. And then there's hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said very clearly, yakumul ghulu. So the Prophet ﷺ warned extremism. And then ghulu, extremism, means also when you practice not in a moderation perspective,
right,
from the Qur'an and from the Sunnah. So now always you look the lifestyle of Prophet Muhammad, his lifestyle teaches you how to practice Islam in a moderation way.
So, Jazakallah khair. And here's my second question to that would be, a lot of times when we hear this term extremism, we think of, fighting and killing and forcing people, and we think of extreme groups overseas and how they're terrifying, civilians of the local population. But how about the extremism of making the religion lax in the sense of foregoing the religious obligation? Oh, we don't have to pray. Sister, you don't have to wear hijab. Hijab is in the heart.
So it is two types of the extremism. One is like relaxing extremism, those who say like, it's okay,
Right.
you don't have to have hijab as a woman, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded to wear the hijab. It's
Yeah.
part of the Islamic practices. It's okay, you don't have to pray 5 times a day. Pray as many as you can,
Yeah.
where Allah commanded to pray 5 times a day. That's one extreme that is prohibited.
Yeah.
And then the other extreme that is prohibited is the extreme practices. 3 men came to the Prophet's house. والسلام. He was not there. One said, when they were told like the practice, I mean like how the Prophet ﷺ practiced Islam, they thought that the practice, since he was forgiven, he doesn't have to do much. So what they said is, we are not the same like him. So one of them said, from now on I will fast every day. I will never break the fast.
Wow.
And the second one said, I will never marry a woman. So, and the third one said, from now on I will wake up all night and pray, never relax. And then they left, and the Prophet ﷺ was told the story of the 3 young people, and he called them back to come back, and he said, listen to me, I heard about what you said to Aisha, and let me tell you what's the proper sunnah. Proper way means like my way of life.
Right.
He said that I marry a woman as anybody else. He said like I wake up at night to pray, but I also sleep. And he said I will fast some days and then pray other days.
Okay.
So like Monday, Thursdays to fast, and other days to break the fasting. And he said, whoever, this is a very clear message to everyone, whoever does not follow this way of life is not part of my religion.
SubhanAllah.
So it's religion of moderation.
So this is.
Then the good news is, whatever Allah commanded in Islam is something that human being can do it.
SubhanAllah.
So for that reason Allah says, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ Means fear Allah, be conscious as much as you can. And then the Deen says, one of the hadiths of the Prophet ad-Deenu yusr. Here is where we have a problem. Religion of Islam is easy to practice. What does it mean easy to practice? Because whatever Allah commanded to do it, everyone is able to do it. Whatever Allah prohibited not to do it, everyone or every human being can stop it to do it. So Allah bestowed as a part of His bounties, as a ni'mah, ability to do it and ability not to do it. And then Allah asked us only to do what we are able to do. That's it.
So how about, there's, sometimes we're living in non-Muslim countries, and in the West, especially the Muslims that are living in the West, in the United States of America, UK, and we get to certain states and levels where Islam practices it becomes a little bit difficult. So, for example, there was a guy in the UK his grandfather was a alim, but he's a part of a not so good organization called the Quilliam Foundation. Maybe you've heard of it. Well, he's telling to the Muslims, he's saying, look, in the summer times it gets very, very hot, and we're fasting for all these hours. The Deen is easy. So you only have to fast all the way up until the afternoon, and then you can break your fast. Because, Allah, He says, yuridullah bikum al-yusr.
And the Deenu Yusr, and the hadith of the Prophet says,
Allah,
yes,
don't make it hard on the people.
Yeah, that's why we need to make it clear. Practice of Islam is easy. That's what it was meant.
Right.
Allah only commands what we are able as human beings that we can do it. Allah knew, and Allah knows that we are able to fast 12 hours or 14 or 16 hours,
right,
because it depends on the places, right? If it is extreme like ours, like for example places that have like all day, let's say sun, okay?
Like, I think, what's it, Alaska? It's one of those places.
Yes, that has like about always 20 hours or 23
Yeah.
hours. There's a solution. And already the scholars they found, they said like they follow Mecca hours.
Okay.
Okay, that's one solution. One of the fatwa, very good fatwa, is they follow the neighboring states or places that is closed but has reasonable hours.
Okay.
So reasonable hours is about 15, 16 hours. So that's resolvable. But you cannot say after noon it's only 6 hours. So this is change of religion.
Okay.
Because the Prophet ﷺ's time, we had 12 hours time. Because Mecca is places that they call the world is like in the middle. So everything is like average.
Okay.
So 12 hours of like fasting, that's what we had. So for that reason, those who are trying to go to this is like other extreme, like it's
There's
relaxed.
two extremes. There's
Yes.
passive.
Passive, yeah.
And there's active.
Yes, you can call passive.
Okay.
Although there's another type of the extremism that we should discuss here.
Okay.
Like for example, Yusuf, it's example only. He has like extreme type of the opinion. Okay, but it's not violent opinion. Like
Right. He's not
So yes.
harming anyone physically.
he does not harm anybody.
But he's like-
But in America, let's say this, which is beautiful. One thing that since I studied law of this country,
Okay.
If you become extremist and not hurting anybody, you're okay legal in America.
Okay.
What's prohibited like violent extremism.
Extremism.
And Islam says the same thing.
Okay.
Like you have an opinion, and like one of the Sahabi, he had an opinion. His opinion was washing the face is not limited the what it appears to us as a face. But he said you have to wash also inside of your eyes
And this is for wudu.
for wudu. Yeah,
Okay.
when you do ablution.
Okay.
So he's saying like
Wow.
ablution you must do it inside of your eyes as a part of the face.
Subhanallah.
So that was his own extreme understanding,
Right.
but he was not harming anybody. But eventually that person became blind.
Okay.
So he
that-
harmed himself. So what I mean is, if the person is not harming others, but has a type of the extreme view, that's fine. So we have in Islam what's called a conservative view, like they say always practice of the salah issues
Right.
with respect to the Shafi'i school.
Right.
There's a lot of conservative type of the opinions from
Right.
Imam Shafi'i. So for that reason, we have like extreme type of the view of the practices, like those three the Prophet rejected, and this type of someone says like you have to wash inside of the
Yeah.
eyes should be rejected. But the person that is doing, as long he's harming others, although there's another hadith that says la darar wa la dirar. That hadith says you cannot harm yourself and you cannot harm others. So even like harming others is prohibited. So if the extreme view harms even person himself or herself, that's prohibited in Islam.
Well, when you say extreme views, let's this is not like extreme in the sense of, you know, how people think of it. Maybe these are like more tougher opinions, or maybe a stronger opinion. Because when you say,
a strong opinion
Yeah.
is okay. Strong opinion is different from extreme opinion. So that's the way that I would see it.
Okay.
Strong opinion is okay.
yes,
Yeah, because like for example, Sayyidina Umar had a strong opinion. Like for example, he had a big farm, right? And then one day he became late from the Fajr prayer.
okay,
So he was busy with his farm. So he came back to the farm and he talked to it. He said like, you farm, you made me late, so you're gone for sadaqah. It's extreme, it's not extreme, it's a strong
strong.
practice,
But,
right?
yeah.
Because nafs
Right.
wanted to have it and stay with it.
Right.
But he said like, I want to free this from my nafs, so never again you will make me busy from the Fajr prayer. So it's a strong opinion. So a strong opinion is accepted in
They're
Islam.
acceptable.
Yes, it depends if you are strong
If you're
based on your faith
To
or
handle it,
aqidah.
okay.
Yes, to handle it.
okay,
But it's accepted, is even not except only sometimes when it's recommended.
Okay.
There are times that strong opinions are recommended. So we don't have time. But
Okay,
we can,
mashallah. So
yes.
the very last question is, what are some tips or what are some ways or methods in where you can share with our brothers and sisters and how to avoid this sort of extremism on both sides, whether it's passive or active, or whether it's about leniency, or whether it's about harming or being harsh
But
with
can
people.
we talk about violence extremism, because that we did not cover as much as it's supposed to be. I know it's only a few minutes left.
Okay,
but,
violent extremism.
yeah,
Sheikh, talk to
violence-
us about violent extremism.
Thank you.
إسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن بإسلامي وإيماني أضاء الكون وزمن